What's up, guys? So welcome to this exciting series where we'll be building a modern personal portfolio website from scratch using React and TailwindCSS. So if you have ever wanted to create a sleek, responsive and professional portfolio to showcase your work, then this video is for you. So let's see a quick preview of what we'll be building. You can see that we'll have this nice header section, and if I scroll down, you can see we have this backdrop effect, more like a glass morphism effect, and watch as this line moves to the next link. So if we scroll to the next section, which is per section, you can see that it's now active and it works for all the sections. And if I click on this live, people can see your website live on a new tab, as well as your source code if you have it opened. Then you can come to this about section, and we have this little transition effect on my skill section. And for the contact me section, we'll be hooking it up with Netlify, so I can just add some details right here, and I can add this one and add some gibberish. So if I say send message, you'll see that get this pop-up saying our form submission has been received, and you can also confirm it with your email. So you can see the name of the website, you can confirm it, then the message of the person, as well as the email of the sender and their name. And again, if I change this to mobile, you can see that it's responsive for mobile screen as well. So it's really nice. So for the tools and setup, we'll be using Vite for fast development, TailwindCSS for styling, Lucid icons for the icons we'll be using, and at the end of everything, we'll be deploying our project on Netlify. And this is the part one of this video, which means we'll be focusing on the introduction and the setup. And I'll try to be releasing videos very often. So I'll start releasing videos every Tuesday and Friday. So be sure to subscribe and turn on the notifications so you don't miss any part. And the full source code will be available for free at the end of the series. However, if you need early access, you can get it for a small fee via the first link in the description. And there will also be a link for you to be able to access the images and have access to the data that I'll be using for free. With that being said, let's dive right into the video. Alright, so I have VS Code open with an empty folder called React Portfolio YT. So you can create an empty folder and open it on VS Code or whatever code editor you use. So the next thing to do is to open our terminal. I can use Ctrl J, or you can use Ctrl tilde. We still open it right here, and we want to install Vite. So we can do that by saying npm create Vite at latest. Then we use this period sign so that we can create the project on our current folder. So say yes, and for the framework we'll select React. For the variant we'll use JavaScript, and now we just run npm I to install all our dependencies that I'll be needing. So this might take a while, and I will join you shortly once it's done installing. Alright, so all our packages has been installed, so I can clear my screen by saying cls, and we want to install Tailwind. So I will go back to my browser and I'll go to the Tailwind's documentation, and Tailwind has just released their version 4. So they made quite some changes in terms of the installation process. So you no longer need the tailwind.config file. So in case if you're watching this in the future, this might change, but so far the tailwind.config file is no longer needed and is now being packed or bundled inside the Vite config file as a plugin, as you can see right here. So I think the default one is using Vite, so we'll just go with this. So I'll copy this command right here and I'll paste it. So that has been installed. I'll clear my screen. And apart from them bringing this TailwindCSS/Vite plugin, there were also some changes and best practices that they brought as well. So during the course of this series, I'm going to show you most of them. So the next thing to do is to add it to our Vite plugin. So can just copy this, go back and go to our feed config, paste this right here, and just copy this one. And I'll add a comma here and paste it right. So except that didn't copy, so I'll do it manually. So I'll quickly save the file. And while we are there, we'll change the port as well. So I can say server and port will be port 3000. So the port is 5173 port, just like using port 3000. All right, cool. So we can go back and keep up with the doc. So we can now import the Tailwind, just this Tailwind CSS plugin right now. So I'll go to my source folder. Let me close this out. Then we'll just quickly do a cleanup. So I'll get rid of this app.css. We no longer need it. For the app.jss, I will get rid of everything, and I'll say RAFCE. So this is like a code snippet, and you can get it on the extension by looking for ES7 code snippets. So it's this one right here, ES7 plus React / Redux code snippets. All right, so for the index.css file, we'll get rid of everything and paste in this import statement. So now ignore this tailwind base. We no longer need it anymore because everything is being packed inside this tailwind CSS plugin. So all the configurations now will be done in the index.css file, which is actually quite nice because I really don't know why we had to do like configuration in the tailwind file, then still linking it back to an index.css. That being said, let's just go back and we can now start our dev server. So I can say npm run dev, grab this link, and I will come right here and just paste it and take it to this part. All right, cool. So the thing we just clicking it, as you can see right now. And so if I just go to the app and I say class name should be like a text of like orange. Is that an orange color? So let me try orange. Yeah, you can see it's coming in. In case yours is not auto-completing, what you just have to do is you just have to control shift P and reload your window. So with this now, it doesn't stop the server from running. The server is still running, but you're just reloading the window. I think it's a caching issue from VS Code. But with this now, we can now have autocomplete. So now if I try it again, so if I do this and say Ctrl space bar, you can see now I have options to actually decide the color I want. So the next thing we want to do is to bring in the font. So the way to use font on the new version, I can just go to font quickly. So font family, and as you can see, this is how it's being used. So let me scroll down. I'll just save you this threads. Right, being used. So everything now is being done in this theme property, be it your colors, your breakpoint, your font size, your font weight. Everything is done in this theme property. So the font we'll be using will be from the Google font. So I will just copy this and make sure you put it before the Tailwind CSS import. So go to our index of CSS and before it, to paste it right here. I'll be using poppins, so I'll change this to poppins, and that is all. Then I will copy this now and I'll paste it right here. So I'll just call this one fonts, and you can see fonts, poppins, then this should be poppins. All right, so while we are there, we'll also bring in the breakpoints that we'll be needing. So Tailwind gives you nice breakpoints, but personally, I'm not really comfortable with the breakpoints, so I will specify what I want. So to do that, you just have to follow this variable structure. I can accept this, and I could say 36 rem. I don't use pixels, so I will duplicate this 3 more times. So 1 2 3, and I did this by holding shift alt and the down arrow key. So this will be 48 rem, this will be 64 rem, and this will be 68.75 rem. Should be point. All right, cool. So far we can go back to our project, and this is still using the, I think it's using the Opal Sans font. So we just need to go to our index.html file, and we'll call this Alex Carter. And on the body right here, we'll say the font should be Poppins. Now you can see Poppins. So if we check, fonts is not Poppins. So let me just be sure. So you can see we have the Poppins font showing. And while we're there, let's still add the background color. Say background gray 950. Then the text will be white. So if we check now, okay, this is nice. So we'll go back to this index.css file, and what we want to do now is I want to add a container class. So what this container class does is that it automatically creates some certain layouts as different breakpoints. So initially, let me show you in practice. So if I go back to my index, my app, the JSS file, and I change this to a container. So what this does is that it adds a max width at different breakpoints. So if we check now, you can see that following the breakpoints that I have, it's supposed to like start right here. So for that to be enabled, I think it's something they removed. We'll have to now tack on to the container class, and I'll add a margin inline of auto to center it left and right, and also add the padding of inline of 1 rem. So if I check now, you can see that this has moved. And I just realized that while I was doing this, this was supposed to be for different breakpoints. So this was supposed to be for medium, and this was supposed to be for large, and this would be for extra large. So if I save now, this should scooch back. But regardless of this mistake, if I still get rid of this, you will notice that it's still starting at the top, because it's not centralizing, it's just adding the max width there. So it's not centering it to the middle. So I'll just uncomment this back and save. Now everything is looking nice. So the last thing we'll be doing is to bring in the icons that we'll need. So the icon will be from Lucid Icon. Click on this guide and installation. So npm, copy this. So open our terminal, create a new tab or a new terminal, and paste in the command, hit enter. So it has been installed, and I think we are good to go. All right guys, that is about it for the setup. In the next video, we are going to build out the navigation section.